What's going on? It's Money Mid Talks here, and we're talking about the prep for week 29 of 2025 for this market session that you'll be coming on for this week. So, in recap of week 28 markets, right, as we saw, a lot of the markets had very small gain. Uh, it was a very interesting week as we saw, dealing with some tariff news, as well as we saw, of course, Bitcoin have a pretty strong rally, opening 7-7. In closing, up almost 8% at the very end of the week. The VIX took a big dive as well, but the rest of the market kind of came in pretty flat, it feels, compared with the prior sessions that we saw over here. Um, as we can see, the Dow Jones down almost 1%, NASDAQ up almost 0.5%, and the SP 500 almost flat, basically. Recapping of news and rumors for week 28, and these links will be posted in the bottom of the video description. WK Kellogg to be acquired by the Ferrero Group. Uh, that's be an interesting move to see that happen. Uh, as we saw too, Kellanova is looking to be acquired by Mars. That was news that happened earlier, I think, this year, if not last year. So interesting to see a consumer package giant become, go private like that versus staying out there in the public market. Other news that we saw as well, we saw Wendy's CEO is leaving to become the CEO of the Hershey Company. Pretty interesting to see that happen there, as we have a company like Wendy's that is struggling, it seems, with their stock price to be competitive in that market of the restaurant industry of fast food burgers. That CEO who was coming from Pepsi, now going to Hershey, they'd only been there, I think, a little over a year. So we'll have to see who they put in place of Wendy's to actually see what they can do to kind of right the ship there. And then happening over the weekend, the U.S. is to impose 3% tariffs on the EU and Mexico come August 1st. Tariffs continue to be a hot topic, it seems, in the news, and some of the market will have to continue to be mindful of. And earnings for this calendar week of 29. Uh, Earnings season is upon us, starting out this week with the big banks. Looking at some of these earnings, which this is all from Earnings Whisper, we can see Monday, we've got Fastenal before market. Tuesday, you've got the start of some of those big banks with JP Morgan, and after hours, JB Hunt. I think JB Hunt will be interesting to see their insight to how the transportation market is looking, considering well, they may start seeing some more of these impacts from the tariffs now, as we're looking now into the actual Q2 numbers. Johnson & Johnson reports Wednesday before the market, and United Airlines reporting after market hours on Wednesday. United Airlines could see a decent earnings. I saw that Delta had a good earnings session last week as well. So interesting to see how travel is looking to do well. Then Thursday, you've got two interesting stocks, I think. You've got Pepsi before market. Again, the consumer packaged goods market has been getting beat up this year, it seems, and should be interesting to actually see what Pepsi decides to do, what their strategy may be kind of for the rest of the year. And then, of course, you have Netflix after hours on Thursday. Netflix just continues to be one of those big player stocks, part of that Mag 7. And then, of course, on Friday, you've got 3M and then Huntington Bank, right? 3M being a big consumer staple company. A lot of protective equipment with 3M. They've done a really good turnaround over this past year and a half looking at their stock price. And then you've got a regional bank, Huntington Bank. I think their market cap is past 20 billion right now. Interesting to see a regional, especially how many of those regionals have bounced back considering the whole Silicon Valley Bank collapse that happened a few years ago. But that is the prep for this week of the calendar week 29 in the year 2025. Let me know your thoughts and what stocks you're interested at looking at this coming week. Thank you.